So my next video is quite an unusual one because I've only just thought of it now. I was watching about half an hour ago, rewatching the first Evil Dead film for about the 20th time, and it got me to thinking, who is the most important and greatest horror actor that there is? Because, I mean, obviously you've got names like Boris Karloff, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, but I believe that that's to the generic film fan that films believe of films in general that believe that they are the great horror actors. I believe that there's a different name, a name from a film that I mentioned about 30 seconds ago. That name, as I'm sure most of you have probably worked out from the title because it's bound to include his name somewhere, is Bruce Campbell. Now, I've just got this up on my computer, 82, a film debuted which was so shocking that it got banned at a lot of places, called The Evil Dead, where it was about a group of teens who went up to a cabin in the woods and unleashed this massive evil, and it took them all over, apart from one person, that person being Bruce Campbell. Now, he's the only person to appear in every single one of the Evil Dead films. Evil Dead 1, 2, and Dead by Dawn's actually the second one, and Army of Darkness. As you can see, starring Bruce Campbell, directed by Sam Raimi. He also cameoed in the reimagining sequel. I don't know what it was. They never actually said, so I'm just going to go with remake of the Evil Dead film in the credits. I'm sorry if you haven't seen that. That's a massive spoiler. What else has he done? He's been in Maniac Cop, which I'm sure that some of you will have heard of. It's about... He's not the Maniac Cop, he's the one trying to stop the Maniac Cop. But there's basically a cop's being killed and he's trying to get revenge on people and killing people, and Bruce Campbell and some other people's got to stop it. I mean, let's just look at some of the other credits from his films. We've got films like Escape from LA. That was John Carpenter's action film with Kurt Russell in, the sequel to Escape from New York. Had people like Steve Buscemi in, and he was playing a mad doctor who wanted to operate on Kurt Russell. I mean, if that's not horror, I don't know what is. We've got Darkman, which I believe is a comic book film starring Liam Neeson. It's an 18 over here, so it's probably either NC-17 or rated R in America. And that's quite a violent film once again. But then we've also got recently, as I'm sure that quite a lot of you are aware, Sam Raimi, the director from the Evil Dead trilogy, also directed Spider-Man 1, 2 and 3. Of course, who appears in all three of the films? Bruce Campbell. But back onto horror, we have The Man with the Screaming Brain. Now, I have actually seen that incredibly silly film, but it's a horror comedy, so it's what you expect, really. Bubba Hotep, I mean, you've got Bruce Campbell playing Elvis, and I can't remember who's playing JFK, but basically there's a load of mummies that suck souls. I can't remember if it sucks souls from people's asses or they suck from their asses that there's people. I can't remember. We've also got My Name is Bruce Campbell. Now, that one's quite an amusing one. People seem to think that he's actually Ash and he's got to defeat this big evil. That's quite an amusing one if you haven't seen that one. But, oh yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn 2, he also cameoed at the start of that, and that's a horror film. So I believe that when you think of horror, just mainly from the fact that main character from The Evil Dead is one of the most iconic horror characters of all time, Bruce Campbell, Ash, is the king of horror.